Hey, sir, how are you? Are you supervisor here?
Yes, sir.
And your name?
My name is Lieutenant Smith.
Lieutenant Smith?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lieutenant Smith, what is the, is there any, I've been going around to different correctional facilities, speaking to different correctional officers. I've gotten a lot of tips about beatdown squads in these facilities. Do you know anything about beatdown squads in this particular facility, Showdown?
Okay, well, I'm going to have a speech that I have to read to you, so that's all I have to say for right now, sir.
You have a what?
A speech I have to read to you.
You have a speech?
There's an actual thing I'm supposed to read to you for videotaping on grounds. So once I get that, I'll read that to you, and then...
Okay.
Okay?
Sure. So you don't know anything about any beatdown squads in this particular facility?
Speech, and then that's where we're going to start off at, okay?
I've gotten anonymous tips from, correctional officers in this particular facility, as well as family members of inmates that have reached out to me. I'm an independent journalist. My name is Sean, Lieutenant Smith,
okay,
and I am just investigating that. So any help you could have. Did you participate in the illegal strike here?
Wow, beat down squads. So I guess people that beat down the inmates. Anyways, fellas, welcome back to the Vibes. Today is a 3-series part, so there's 3 parts to this video. It's from the famous Sean, the legendary First Amendment Auditor. And as usual, I have linked the links down in the description below for all 3 clips. So be sure to go give it a check out on TikTok. And if you're rocking with the content, be sure to give me a like and a subscribe, and I'm going to keep it rolling for y'all.
I'm supposed to read this speech to you. It says, please leave the area. New York State Police will be called if you refuse to leave the area. Videotaping or photographing prison property without the consent of the superintendent or commissioner is prohibited by DOPS policy. While members of the public who are visiting inmates are permitted to enter this lot and park their vehicles, this property is owned by the department, is considered part of a correctional facility, and falls under the authority and jurisdiction of the commissioner. Pursuant to Correction Law 112, he is empowered to exercise superintendence, management, and control over all department correctional facilities, and has promulgated the restriction against the use of videotaping and photographing by any person while present on the correctional facility parking lot. If you'd like to request permission to take photos or video, you may contact the superintendent or commissioner. This property, while publicly owned by non-public forum, which is not traditionally recognized by or designated as a forum for public communication, and is thus restricted. Your activity here is considered a security risk and trespass.
What about my activity is considered a security risk?
This is what I'm told to read you, sir.
I'm not getting any information that Google Earth can't give me. I mean, Google Street View, Google Earth. I mean, how am I security risk?
I'm told to read you, sir.
Right, you read it, but I'm asking. A follow-up question is, what am I doing that's a security risk?
Yeah, okay. So before we go to the final part here, I guess like this guy Sean, is he trying to film inside like a prison? I mean, he's doing God's work, right? If these correctional officers, they're actually doing beatdowns on the inmates, then good on Sean for actually going in there and shedding some light on it. Because, yeah, yeah. But I don't really know, right? Like, I guess, like, it's kind of odd, right? Like, to be filming in a correctional facility. Is that something that happens? And I guess that's also protected by the First Amendment rights, right? Yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Is that, like, I guess that shouldn't be different, right? Because a federal prison or a state prison is, like, still, like, a public, right? I really don't know, y'all. Help a brother out down in the comments below. I don't know, like, is he allowed to film in there? I guess he is, right? Because this guy here, he seems to be overly confident. We're going to find out in the 3rd clip if his confidence is actually warranted. If there's any basis to his confidence, we're going to find out. But if there's anything I know about Sean, the auditor, is that he's always on the ball and he knows his stuff.
There's already case law.
I'm sorry.
I understand. There's already case law on trespass being, you cannot trespass somebody from public while they're engaged in a constitutionally or statutorily protected activity. That is People v. Moore, New York State Court of Appeals decision. Again, you can read that paper that somebody printed out for you like. You can't tell me how I'm a security threat. You have no information besides what you're reading. I don't understand how the commissioner can single-handedly violate a statutory and constitutional right just by handing you a paper he printed out. I don't see where he gets the authority to do so. You guys are
Interesting. So yeah, like even the commissioner doesn't have the right to, just by printing something on a sheet of paper, that is policy, right? But it doesn't really trump a constitutional right. So that's what Sean is saying here. And I think he's right, of course, because Sean knows his stuff. Not just that, but also we see these things play out over and over again in these clips. They end up calling the police, and the police are not able to do anything about it because like that, these amendment rights are like ironclad, right? So there's no two ways around it. You just have to get along with it, right? You just have to move along. This is what it is. You live in the US. And again, I'll say it once more, it's quite shocking that like you have correctional officers, police officers, and all these government workers who don't seem to really respect it. I don't know if it's that they don't know these rights or if they're just choosing to be ignorant to these rights, right? It's definitely concerning if you ask me, like the level of ignorance within like these like government facilities where you have employees who they actually like wholeheartedly and it seems like in good faith push back against these auditors, right? Even though it's common knowledge at this point, it's literally the first amendment. But yet somehow you have a bunch of government workers who just don't get it. And they really will push back. And at first I thought they were joking, right? I thought obviously this must all be an act. But honestly, when I read the comments on these clips here, it's clear that it's not an act actually. Like they actually are really trying to stop him from exercising his First Amendment rights. And if there's anything I like about Sean is that he's one of the more polite auditors. So actually he's in it just to educate people. He's not gonna gloat. I've never seen Sean really gloating. He's just always hitting them with like facts after facts after facts, right? And that's what I like about Sean. You see some First Amendment auditors, when they are right, then they really like to shove it in the face of like the people, right? Whereas Sean doesn't really do that. He's not in it for that. He just really wants people to know about his rights, to know about these things and actually learn from it. And so I can definitely appreciate Sean for that one. And I'm sure all of you guys down in the comments below, you can obviously appreciate Sean as well. I really appreciate the way he goes about
part of the New York State Right to Monitor Act, and I'm engaged in that activity right now as I'm talking to you. So therefore, I mean, if you need to call state police, you could do that. You know, that's up to you. Again, I'm not a security risk. I told you my name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist. I'm working on a story. I'm asking questions about the illegal strike that you all participated in, the New York State correctional officers. I'm asking about potential abuses that is happening here in this very facility, and I'm trying to bring awareness to that. I mean, there's really not much else I can add to that. I've given you the case law. I've given you the actual law. You're telling me policies. I'm telling you law and case law here in New York State. And, you know, you can't even tell me how I'm a security threat.
Yeah, absolutely, yo. Like, time and time again, we see it, and it's always the same thing. Policy does not trump a constitutional right. And besides, what are these guys hiding, right? Is this Wentworth? What exactly do they have to hide? If they have nothing to hide and they're following everything by the books, then they should be able to allow access to a public citizen who has already told them his name, he's identified himself, he's let them know why he's there, which is more than what he even has to do, right? From my understanding, he doesn't even need to answer any of their questions. Yet here he is, actually answering their questions, giving them his name, going above and beyond, and yet they're still giving him a lot of pushback and resistance. So absolutely, Sean is doing God's work here. He's definitely doing some really fine work. And I would like to know what you guys have to say about this down in the comments below. Be sure to give me a like and a subscribe. And until next time, peace!